Hello and welcome to SPORF Wrestling, the Go Home Show podcast. I'm Michael Henson, and today I'm joined by NXT UK's very own Lewis Howley and Sam Stoker, also known as Pretty Deadly. How are you both?
Yeah, we're well, thank you. Thank you for having us, Michael.
I'm very good, thank you. It's a great Tuesday morning. We're about a month into NXT UK now, filmed at BT Sports Studios. How have you found everything there?
The rebirth, if you will, has been, I think it's exceeded expectations. I think we all had in our own heads a bar that we wanted to hit. And I remember for us, at least, coming out of that first show, the second show, we felt we were so proud of ourselves and kind of the brand itself. We felt like we'd smashed it. And I think you're only going to see that going forward with the weeks to come. It's only going to get better. And definitely for us, we're only getting better. So, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's exceeded expectations from every account. You know, like BT Sport, the setup we've got there is better than anything we could have dreamed of. And in terms of the performance of the wrestlers, everybody's been just sitting at home, just raring to go. So when people have come back, they've come back with just a different energy. So this show is honestly something special.
And speaking about being back together, during lockdown, you two were separated. How was that for you?
Michael.
Where do you get off, Michael? That's what I'd like to ask.
You've hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you knew there was a certain...
How many minutes in a way?
You know what I mean?
I just want to hear about the reunion, that's all. I want to hear about this Dirty Dancing style reunion.
You're reeling it back.
Well, unfortunately, because things are so unpredictable, we separated for what was only meant to be a few days.
It was only going to be a few days.
And it became an eternity, or what felt like that.
It certainly felt that way, yeah.
However, you're right, the reunion was something special and something we'll hold dear to our hearts, won't we?
Certainly, yeah. It's a weird day when time slows down. But that first time I saw Sam after those months, time really did slow down, and it felt like something out of a film, didn't it, Sam?
I had the time of my life.
Oh, hey, that's it.
Hey, man.
And I believe you bought a wrestling ring to keep everything up to scratch.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So once we finally got back together, we was like, right, when we come back, we want to be. Obviously, we're always striving to be the best, especially the best tag team. That's always our focus. So we thought, what's the best way to do it? And it sums up pretty simple. Is we need a wrestling ring. So yeah, we just brought one. It fits in the back garden pretty nicely, and that's where we spent the rest of lockdown.
Yeah, we like to incorporate. There's two of us, and that's such a big advantage from singles wrestlers. So we incorporate that, and there's a whole rule book to play with, and there's a whole ring to play with. So having the ring at our disposal, I don't know if that's the right word.
I'm into it.
Here we are, having the ring there. We practice. So I think going forward, especially on the show, you'll see a lot of let's say manipulation of our positioning, of the ring, of maybe the rules, where we follow the rules, but there might be a few bends. They bend. But I think we've become smarter wrestlers because of it, and I think you'll see that.
And obviously, you had your first match in 6 months against the Hunt. How good did that feel to get back in the ring and get that win?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah, it's been such a long time coming. Like we said, everybody's been tucked away, just raring to go. So everybody's come back with this different energy, and the Hunt did that as well. And so for us to pick up the win was incredible. But as Sam said, there's a few rules that they bend, and as you saw in that match, we're not against using that to our advantage, eh, Sam?
We're on the board. We got the W. The Hunt, I mean, one of the best teams you've got. They're animals. And you look at us, you might not think we're coming out on top, but who did come up on top? We're winning. We're not going to lose. I think this team here is only going to win. We're only going to keep on going, and I cannot wait, boys.
I can't wait. And I'll tell you one more thing, Michael, as well, just as a little side note. Not only will we always keep winning, we will never stink like the Hunt, because that was rough, man. Do you know what I mean? I know, because it needs to be said, because that sort of thing can't keep happening. Yeah, I mean, there's no need for that. There's no need. It was, because I'm not happy about it. Do you know what I mean? I go in there, I've trained for 6 months to get back in, and I don't need to be smelling that while I'm wrestling. Do you know what I mean? While me and Sam are trying to create, or we say, some art, boy.
Your art.
Thank you.
And then the question that's on everyone's lips after that match, what did Eddie Dennis say to you?
You're testing us today, because you shouldn't be asking these questions.
You're lucky we like you, Mark.
Yeah, you are lucky.
Because I'll press this end button any second, I will.
Yeah, and that's what you're getting.
We'll move quickly on. I've just spoke to Ginny, and I was asking about the most fashionable people in NXT UK, and clearly from today, you two very stylish guys. She didn't pick up on you at all. What would your response be to that? Because you've got the gear now.
I think you would. It's probably quite clear that it comes from a sense of jealousy, a sense of insecurity. We got someone who walks around calling herself the fashionista and like, oh, look at me, you see?
Oh, fine.
Oh, excuse me, Michael.
I think that's Ginny right now trying to chat some. Have you got it?
Ginny, I've heard what you've been saying and I'm not happy about it, all right? We know you're lying.
I don't know if he's going back at this point.
Sorry about that, Mike. I'm furious because there's one thing he's insulting us by not bringing it up, but to call and try and get back in our good books after.
Medal.
I'm not happy. As I was saying, right, is if you walk around saying that, you know it comes from a place of insecurity. Me and Sam, we know we look good, so we don't have to go around saying it to everybody. And so obviously she's going to leave us off of that list because she doesn't want to bring attention to it because she knows deep down, boy, deep in here, she knows that realistically it's us.
I think if you shout the loudest and you shout loudest about being the best at something, I think that obviously comes from a place of a lack of confidence. So, we're not going to come directly at Ginny, maybe indirectly, but I think it is a ranking system. I think we're 1 and 2.
I mean, you've got to be in the top 1.
Are we at the top 1?
Exactly.
I'd probably say us, probably you, Michael.
Thank you.
A whole list of other people, and then Ginny can find herself wherever she falls.
Sort of mid-range.
And then looking when you first signed by WWE, how did you find out they were interested in signing you, and who was the first person you told?
Oh, who was the first person we told?
I can't remember. That's a great question, Mike. You stumped us a little bit here. You feel good about yourself, dude?
I do, thank you.
Do you?
Can you give us a good 5 seconds to think about that? We're going to have a 5-second silence.
We'll come back to it then. We'll come back to it later on, if that's all right. You had time out in the USA earlier this year as well. How did you find that experience?
Oh, go on, you say this.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was, again, another great learning experience for us. I think one thing we always say is although we're a great team, we know we're not the best team. We know there's so much room to learn. There's so much room to grow. One thing we are confident in is our potential. We want to go all the way. We want to see you at WrestleMania, Michael. We want to be on Raw and SmackDown, NXT UK. We want to do it all. So I think we have that potential. We're confident. So going to America was almost such a great chance to learn and build on ourselves. And I already think we're, again, so much more improved from after that trip than we were before. So I think it's just kind of fulfilling what we feel like we've got.
Yeah, we learned so much while we was out there. We got so many great opportunities as well. Besides just the coaches we got to learn under, we also got to do some of the live events, which were great. The reaction we were getting from the crowds was just so much fun. Two English guys walking out looking, pretty incredible,
pretty tasty,
shall we say. The reaction for that was great. And one of the things me and Sam always look at is you sort of, in this job, you have to treat each individual job as an audition for the next one. And so that was sort of really how we took America, and it went really well for us.
And then a show that you might be on in the future when you get over to the main roster is Hell in a Cell. We've got that this Sunday. Which match do you think could be the show stealer so far?
I mean, it's got to be the big High Chief.
Oh, yes, boy, it has to be. And you took it out of my mouth, boy. You saw it, didn't you?
I think what Roman Reigns is bringing at the moment, I mean, his work before was always top notch, but I think what he's bringing is something new and somehow even better.
It's different gravy now, do you know what I mean?
And we watched the last pay-per-view together, and we were blown away. It was
the emotion they were managing to draw out from you with that last match was just really something else. And so they're going to bring it again this time, and if anything, they're going to come with more, which is just going to be, which I think is going to blow everybody away.
We're always keeping our eye on the tag matches. We'll be watching all of those closely, but that for us, I think maybe takes it.
I think so, yeah.
And then offering you a chance now to call out anyone in WWE. You've got a chance this time next year, inside Hell in a Cell. Who you taking on and why?
Go on, boy. Tell us why.
All right, let's call them out. Recently going through a bit of a rough patch, breaking up. Let's call out the New Day. Big E, you do what you want. You go do what you want. You be successful.
And we're happy for you.
I'm happy for you, Big E, but I'm not going to do singles. You going to do singles?
I'm never going to do singles, boy.
So Kofi and Xavier, 2/3 of the New Day, or now just 2/2s of the New Day.
2/2s.
We're calling you out. Hell in a Cell. They've done it before. You'll do it again. I think that's our dream at the moment. They're the bar, quite frankly. So I think that's what we want. That's what we're going to get. Maybe not next year, Michael. Maybe 2 years, maybe 3. But that's what we want. That's what we're eager to get in there and face and prove ourselves against.
Definitely. And I think, Mike, we could both agree. What an entertaining match that was.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I first saw you in Progress Wrestling against the Young Guns. It's the first time I ever saw you. I came away from that time as a fan of yours. It was last October, that was. So it's like the Young Guns may not appear, but then I think it was the first time you come up from London. So I remember seeing that and becoming a fan of yours. So say you win that match against the New Day, if it's next year or whenever, you've got a WrestleMania match, WrestleMania 38. Who's your dream match for WrestleMania and why?
Oh, boy, I'm going to take this one. All right, the reason, this is...
You got it.
So with mine and Sam's tag wrestling, right, we like to think that, you know, basically what we always say is a me brain, Sue brain, right? So we always think that we have this little, this connection, you know, we're on a different level to everybody else.
Brothers.
Much like brothers. So for us, the dream match in a long time, once he's done, is the Usos. That for us would be, you know, because we've watched them for years and years.
Since they debuted.
Since they debuted. And they're so good at evolving as well. They're always keeping current. They're always keeping new. There's always something exciting to watch about them. If you watch them from 10 years ago, it's such a different product. And so it's definitely something that me and Sam have been watching, because there's going to come a time where me and Sam are going to have to start bringing new things to the table before we sort of get a little bit dull. I mean, me and Sam can never be dull, but
don't you dare say it.
If there's a risk, it's something that we're going to have to work on. And just in ring, them two are just incredible. So yeah, we would love to have a brother off, if you will.
We've been asking a lot of people this, who we've been interviewing, what is the best WWE theme music of all time, excluding your own?
Whoa, that's always tough. That's tough.
Because I asked Ginny and she said her own, and I was like, I should exclude people's own music.
Yeah, it's such a cop
out.
out.
Well, you'll get that from Ginny. You don't expect any better, really.
What's yours? I got mine. Have you got yours, Michael? I'd like to hear yours.
Yeah, I've got mine.
Okay.
You go first, Michael. I want to see what the competition.
Okay, so for me, growing up as like a kid, sort of getting into wrestling in late 90s, early 2000s, to Stone Cold music. So as soon as that glass shattered, I knew something was going to happen. Also the Hardy Boys, because luckily enough, I was at WrestleMania 33. So when that music hit, I have never screamed and shouted so much in my entire life.
Yeah, I bet that was incredible.
Both solid songs.
Go on, boy. You can have.
For me, John Cena always is. I think similar to you, maybe my Stone Cold Steve Austin for you is John Cena. I was watching, maybe it's like a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, whatever, but I didn't start properly watching until a bit later on. And John Cena was my guy, and he always has been until now. So that theme song is like ingrained in me. Cut me and I bleed. The time is now.
Oh. Very nice.
Very weird.
Very weird, but
great song. That's my song. I love it.
I think for just my equivalent would be Rey Mysterio's, because when I heard that Booyaka Booyaka,
619.
Hey, I was hyped when I was a kid. Hey, Booyaka Booyaka. I was into it. But looking back, if I'm going all time, I think it's got to be Shawn Michaels. Yeah, it has to be. Do you know what I mean? When you hear that, I don't want to butcher it.
I mean, Jey Uso did a version of it, so let's hear your version.
Well, you know I'm sexy. I got the looks. I don't know the next, but I mean, I didn't want to do that, and you forced me, Michael. You forced me.
I mean, Jey Uso did it, so I'm sure you can do it ahead of your dream match at WrestleMania.
Hey, my emotional support, you know what I mean? He asked for it, I had to do it. I told him it was going to be bad. I'm sorry.
And then just going back to the question we skipped before, obviously, how did you find out WWE were interested in signing you, and who was the first person you told?
Brain. So we obviously did extra work for a while. So we were coming in on the odd few shows, and then we did a tryout in November of last year. And the general sort of feel was that we did well, but we wasn't too sure what the ending was going to be. And then we received a call saying that we would be invited to the January camp, in which we would be signing our contracts should we wish. And then, I mean, obviously the first people, I called Sam straight away and Sam called me straight away, of course. But besides that,
again, we got separated. Unfortunately, it keeps happening.
But
yeah, we told each other, and I think from then we just tell our families.
We told Pam.
We told Lisa.
We told Paul.
We told Darren.
And then the list followed.
The list follows, which is lovely, obviously, because I think you wrestle on the independence for so long, and I think parents will often worry about their children. You need not worry. I've got Lewis in my life, obviously it's a good thing to tell them that you've achieved your dream and you've signed with a company that you've been watching since you were 7 years old and your mum would buy the DVDs for.
Yeah, perfectly put. Yeah.
Perfectly put. So,
and then just a couple of questions left. The first one, I asked this to Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. What were your first impressions of each other when you met?
My first impression of Sam?
Of Lewis?
Yeah, of each other, yeah.
Never had I met someone that kind of left me without words, and almost to see myself in him, and I just, there was some
tell me about it. I want to hear it. I want to reminisce. How did it feel?
There was just some kind of instant connection, instant bond. And I'll say we first met within like our first year of training, and we'd meet every so often. Like, every single time we clicked about something else, and we clicked about something else, and we clicked about something else, and there was just this instant chemistry.
Yeah, and as you all know, but Sam is cool. Do you know what I mean? Sam is like a cool guy. You know when he was at school and you was in like maybe year 7 or 8, and then there was the few year 11s that were like, they were cool, and you were like, oh, if I would love to be friends. They don't want to be friends with me, but I would love to be friends with them. That was what it was like when I first met Sam. I was like, this guy is cool, and I would like to be his friend.
And I felt the same. And just each time we just bonded more and more on whatever. And then one day I said, who's your favorite Friends character? And he said,
Ross.
And I said, same. And I think from that moment we were just like, yeah, this is it.
So,
this is it.
And the rest is history, as to say. And then just to complete this interview, final question from me. What is the best piece of advice you've been given?
Oh, there's so many, so that is tough. I think one that sticks is from Mr. Terry Taylor told us that relevance is a fool's chase, which is one that I quite like. And then I don't know if we made it up ourselves, or maybe we heard it from someone a while ago, and then now we like to consider it our own. But as I mentioned earlier, that mentality of treating each job like it's an audition for the next one, I think is definitely like a very important piece for us, because that's really how we try and look at every match we get, every promo we get, just every opportunity to feature in the show, whether it's for 2 seconds or 10 minutes. We've got to nail it, because then that might get seen for the next one, and then we might get longer, and then we might get here, we might get there, and it just starts snowballing.
Yeah, and the last bit, I'd say Shawn Michaels talked to us early on, and obviously we're going to get so much advice from people that's going to be massively helpful for us, but Shawn was kind of helping us through a certain match, and then he said to us, I can't tell you how to be you boys. You boys, be you, be yourselves, and then you tell me what you would and wouldn't do. So just that kind of, that advice of kind of, we'll help you get to certain places, we'll give you the platform, but ultimately be yourselves and stay true to yourselves. I think that's a big confidence builder. I'd rather be ourselves and die on our sword and go out how we want to go out than kind of be someone else.
Yeah, that's a huge one for us, actually, because we've done a few independent shows and stuff where we've been maybe sort of given direction that didn't really feel very, very natural and very us. And when we did it, something always felt wrong. Felt fake, yeah. But the second we've had conversations and we've gone, you know what, let's just go and let's just do us work, because we know us and we know it's good and we know we're confident and we can deliver it. And whenever we've done that, it's just been completely different. So to have that sort of verification from Shawn himself was just like, we're good to go now.
So I think that's our top three.
Top three
advice.
It's so good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak to me. It's been great.